Hello and welcome back to the Garifuna Experience podcast. I'm your host, José Francisco Ávila. Today, we're looking at the bright lights of Hollywood and how they illuminate the growing presence of our own cultural narratives. We are shifting our focus to the major American film accolades, the Golden Globe Awards and the Oscars, and connecting them directly to the small but mighty world of Garifuna cinema. Hollywood's annual showcase. The award season is nearly upon us, setting the global standard of cinematic excellence. The 83rd Annual Golden Globe Awards are happening on January 11, 2026. These are the American accolades that honor excellence in both film and television, recognizing exceptional domestic and international productions. The crucial 98th Oscars and the Academy nominations voting begins shortly after, on Monday, January 12, and concludes on Friday, January 16. The ceremony date is March 15, 2026. It's important to remember the distinction. The Oscars are seen as the pinnacle of achievement, awarded by film industry professionals, a massive body of thousands. The Golden Globes, on the other hand, are awarded by a smaller group of journalists and uniquely recognize both film and television, whereas the Academy Awards focus exclusively on film. From New York City to the world, the Garifuna presence. As I prepare to watch this broadcast, I am inevitably led to think about the Garifuna cinema industry. Since most of these films have either premiered or been showcased right here in New York City, it's a powerful reminder that the Garifuna oral and intangible cultural heritage has been enriching New York City's cultural landscape for over 200 years. Garifuna Cinema is a small but incredibly impactful body of work focused on the unique Afro-Indigenous Garifuna culture and history. It includes critically notable films like Garifuna in Peril and various compelling documentaries and short films. This culture is also celebrated annually at the Garifuna International Indigenous Film Festival in Los Angeles. Charting Our History, the Internet Movie Database or IMDb connection. The Internet Movie Database, or IMDb, is the world's #1 movie website and the most authoritative source of film and TV content. We have researched IMDb to compile a chronological list of commercially produced films that are either by or about Garifunas, or those featuring Garifunas in key acting roles. Let's look at the timeline of our cinematic history. 1945, the Golden Age pioneer, Juan José Laboriel, the legendary Garifuna musician, singer, and actor born in Trujillo, Honduras, was a major figure during the Golden Age of Mexican cinema, 1933 to 1964. This was a period when the Mexican film industry produced works of superb quality, gained international recognition, and became the commercial film center of Latin America. Laboriel participated in more than 28 Mexican films. Filmography. His extensive filmography includes La Selva de Fuego, 1945, La Mulata de Córdoba, 1945, Reina de Reinas, La Virgen María, 1948, Furia Roja, 1951, and Alma de Acero, 1957. He was married to Francisca Lopez Laboriel, an actress known for Slaughter with Jane Brown in 1972. 1991, Law and Order, Season 2, Episode 32, Heaven. Originally aired on November 26, 1991. The plot of this episode was inspired by the Happyland Fire, the investigation into an illegal social club fire which claimed 53 fatalities, leads to a connection between arson, illegal immigrants, and the sale of green cards. The Happyland Social Club fire was an act of arson that took the lives of 87 people on March 25, 1990, in the Bronx, in New York City. The fire was the deadliest in New York City since the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory in 1911. The 87 victims were trapped in the unlicensed Happyland Social Club located at 1959 Southern Boulevard in the West Farm section of the Bronx. Most of the victims were young Hondurans, the majority of them part of the Garifuna American community. 1998 and 1999, documenting and dramatizing Garifuna heritage. 1998, The Garifuna Journey, a celebratory documentary with engaging scenes of fishing, cooking, dancing, cassava preparation, fashion of a temple, spiritual ritual, music and dance, all demonstrating the Garifuna link to the Carib African past. Descendants of African and Carib Indian ancestors, the Garifuna fought to maintain their homeland and resisted slavery. For this love of freedom, they were exiled from St. Vincent in the Caribbean by the British in 1797. Despite exile and subsequent diaspora, their traditional culture survives today. It is a little-known story that deserves its place in the annals of African diaspora. In first-person Garifuna voices, this documentary presents the history, the language, food, music, dance, and spirituality of the Garifuna culture. It is directed by Andrea E. Leland. 1999, El Espíritu de mi mamá, The Spirit of My Mother. A meditative and dramatic tale of a young woman's remarkable journey to her forgotten homeland. Sonia is a single mother living in Los Angeles, far removed from her Garifuna West African, Arawak, and Carib Indian roots. Haunted by memories of an American soldier she once loved and dreaming of her dead mother, Sonia searches for answers among the mundane landscape but finds few. After getting fired from her job as a nanny, Sonia journeys to Honduras to grant her mother's request to perform a spiritual ceremony that will let her rest in peace. Produced and directed by Ali Alieh, it premiered at Southwest by Southwest Film Festival and later at the Dawnbreakers International Film Festival and the African Diaspora International Film Festival in New York City, marking an important step for Garifuna narrative film making. 2006, Play Jankunu Play, the Garifuna Wanaragua Ritual of Belize. The colorful and culturally significant Jankunu dance tradition of the Garifuna people of Belize is presented. The Garifuna are a Central American people of West African and Native American descent. In addition to discussion of the dance and music styles involved, the Jankunu raises valuable issues of syncretism, colonial history, performance, and embodiment of culture and experience, and cultural survival. One of their most popular rituals is Wanaragua, a threefold system of masked Christmas processionals, commonly called Jankunu. This ritual is a unique blend of African, European, and Native American, Arawak, and Carib art traditions, in which social and cultural identities are expressed through music, dance, and costume. Directed by Oliver N. Green Jr. 2007, actress Isha Sumner made an appearance as a guest cast member in Law and Order, Special Victims Unit. This show introduced the Special Victims Unit, a new elite squad of NYPD, the New York Police Department detectives, who investigate sexually related crimes. In Episode 5, which first aired on October 23, 2007, a volunteer at a rehab center is killed, and her death may be linked to the man she was helping, an Iraqi suffering from injuries may have been caused by torture techniques employed by an American hired company. Isha plays the role of torture victim number one, explaining the torture techniques employed on her in the Garifuna language. 2012, the festival and the feature. 2012, the Garifuna International Film Festival was founded by Frida Sedorov. Its mission is to preserve the values and aspiration of all indigenous and Garifuna cultures through art and film. This annual event showcases a variety of films and documentaries by Garifuna filmmakers and other indigenous peoples, including panel discussions and cultural presentations. 2012, Garifuna in Peril, a landmark feature film. A Garifuna language teacher fights to keep his endangered language alive in the face of personal betrayal and tourism's encroachment. This film directly confronts contemporary issues like education, health, and land rights, and is the first feature film with most of its dialogue in the Garifuna language. Produced and directed by Ali Alieh and Ruben Reyes, it had its U.S. premiere at the New York African International Diaspora Film Festival. 2013, Revolutionary Medicine, a story of the first Garifuna hospital, tells the story of how the hospital's alternative health model is transforming communities on Honduras' northern coast and standing as an alternative to an increasingly privatized national health system. Could a remote hospital that runs on solar panels in a community with no paved roads or electricity provide a new global model for healthcare systems? It is directed by Jesse Frischton and Beth Giglia. 2014, Yurume, Homeland, is a documentary film which recounts the painful past of the Caribs on the island of St. Vincent in the Caribbean, their extermination at the hands of the British 200 plus years ago, the decimation of their culture on the island, and their exile to Central America, where much of the culture survived, even thrive. It is directed by Andrea E. Leland. 2017 and 2025, Action and Acknowledgement. 2017, Wayunagu. Wayunagu means our ancestors in the Garifuna language. This action drama tells the story of Ivan, a former kickboxer returning to his native Honduras. Viewed as a foreigner, he becomes involved in a tragedy and must confront his fears and rediscover himself in the jungles to survive a manhunt. Directed by Christopher Miles and written by Miles and Angel Valerio. The movie explores themes of identity and heritage with a sequel, Wayunagu 2, Amun and Dahani, released in 2023, which continues the story of the main character's spiritual journey. 2017, Nirao. Nirao means my son in the Garifuna language. A man's son is kidnapped by a former rival bent on revenge and is forced to fight hardened criminals seeking to claim the bounty on his head. It is directed by Christopher Miles and written by Miles and Angel Valerio. 2023, Bare Feet with Michaela Malosi, Season 6, Episode 3, Garifuna. Michaela is a dancer and host of the travel series Bare Feet with Michaela Malosi. On this episode, she heads to the Bronx to meet with the largest Garifuna community in the United States, a people of Afro-Caribbean culture with Central American influences. She learned the dances and the music that have miraculously survived generations of impossible odds. And she features the Casita Maria Center for Arts and Education and the local delicacies in the neighborhood. In her show, she immerses herself in different cultures, learning their traditional dances and experiencing their way of life. Malosi explored Garifuna culture in the Bronx with the Wabafu Dance Company, learning traditional dances and donning traditional Garifuna attire. The series is broadcast on PBS and NYC Media. Full disclosure, I am one of the persons interviewed in this episode. 2025, Lumalali Niwani, the voice of my spirits, a recently celebrated Honduran Garifuna short film by filmmaker Neri Bernardes and starring Mael Barrios. This powerful story, which explores themes of identity, culture, and resistance through the journey of a young man named Satuye, has already made a significant mark. It recently won 3 awards at the Latino Film Market Fest in New York City: Best International Student Short Film, Best Leading Actor, Best Cinematography. It was also a finalist at the Sorsales Film Festival in San Pedro Sula, Honduras. This success highlights the emerging talent of young Garifuna filmmakers. Yurumen documentary, The Garifuna History of Resistance and Cultural Heritage in Guatemala. This Garifuna documentary, titled Yurumen, tells the story of the Garifuna people from the exile from St. Vincent to their arrival in Livingston, Guatemala. You can learn about the Garifuna culture, its music, its language, and its legacy. Discover how the Garifuna of Guatemala came to the Caribbean islands, were expelled from St. Vincent, and managed to survive, adapt, and keep their identity alive. This documentary is a celebration of their culture, music, cuisine, and traditions. A story of resistance, pride, hope that continues to inspire the world. The documentary was directed by Blue IHC Studio. Screenplay was written by Arnold Ciego and Oscar Ardon. And that wraps up another illuminating episode of the Garifuna Experience podcast. The enduring spirit of the Garifuna. Whether on a global stage like the Oscars or through the lens of a local independent filmmaker, our stories are being told. Garifuna cinema, though young, is a stunning and enduring example of a tradition that has survived, adapted, and continues to be a powerful cultural force that unites us across oceans and generations. Thank you for listening, and always remember, the future of the Garifuna people is in our hands, and we are driving power, prosperity, and progress. Until next time, stay united, stay proud, Sungube Lida Aba. Ayo. Find new episodes of the Garifuna Experience podcast every Tuesday. Follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, and iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review the Garifuna Experience podcast. Your support helps us share our vital Garifuna experience with more people around the world.